everyone, and welcome to a very special podcast. It's a man cave behind the scenes, uncensored, unfiltered.
There's zero scenes. There is a curtain.
Where's the curtain?
That's a curtain.
Okay, well, there's a curtain in front of us where we're recording. We're actually recording this very, very late in the evening. It's around 10 o'clock. We're a little tired, but we just got done kind of binge watching all of the episodes, and we wanted to give a little insight and share that with our audience out there. If you're
drinking,
we're having a few drinks. We wanted to share our stories, our behind the scenes information, if you will, to all of you who might want to know those little stories, those little things that you don't normally get. I was kind of hoping we would have had like a documentary film style, but I thought a podcast would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
We have myself, Stephen White. I'm play Felix on Man Cave. I'm producer, director, writer for season 2.
The all-around just player,
co-creator. With me is co-creator and executive producer and star Todd Stark, who plays Cash.
Star. I am Cash.
Mm-hmm.
That is my last name in the show. We don't know what my first name is.
Not yet. We haven't, but we have established
Cash.
that.
I'm just Mr. Cash.
Mm-hmm. But that opens up a big can of worms, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
We also have with us another star of Man Cave and executive producer, Katrina Mason.
Hello.
We were hoping
She's
to have
so much meaner than what she just sounded like.
We were hoping to have a bigger crowd here, but situations dictated that it wasn't going to happen. But it's fine.
It's an intimate setting now.
Yeah, a little bit.
Totally.
And I'm rubbing Steven's leg right now. What'd you say? What did you say? What I missed?
I don't know. I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear. She talks like really low.
How do I talk really low?
I don't know. What did you say?
I said 2 girls, 1 cup.
Ooh.
Ew.
There's only one girl here. It's like one girl,
so it's
2 cups.
2 guys.
It's a yellow and brown
2
cup.
guys, a girl, and a pizza place.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
2 guys and a
girl.
girl.
You can be Ryan Reynolds. I'll give you that.
I get to be Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, you get to be Ryan Reynolds.
Awesome. I need to work on my 6-pack.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
I
don't know who the other people were in that show, so.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
I'm Ryan Reynolds.
That's right.
Mr. Cash.
Totally.
So I guess where I want to start with is, so people kind of understand, was the origin of Man Cave. Where it started probably back in 2012 is what I'm going to say. Because
circa 2012.
Yeah, that's where the idea kind of started. I remember I was trying to get a show off the ground where I think I was trying to do movie news and stories and things like that. And
what was that called?
The Chesterfield Murphys.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
I only did 2 episodes of that because it was a lot of hard work to try and produce that show at the magnitude that I was trying to at that time. So it was very, very time consuming to really get a lot of the news and stuff together. But with that idea in mind, I loved the title, the name of the show.
Right.
And because it was essentially a play on couch potato and things like that. But from that, I had an idea of wanting to do that as a sitcom. Mm-hmm. Just that idea. It's like, what if we had just like 2, lazy guys, 2 pals, and they're just kind of screwing around, and what would their misadventures be? But
a lot of stuff.
I didn't have anything in mind. I just had kind of a light vision in my head. So from that, I think I had talked to you about Todd. I talked to you about the Chesterfield Murphys idea and stuff like that. But from that, I don't remember where the conversation really got started for Man Cave.
We started talking about, we started talking about, man, wouldn't it be cool if we did a sitcom about working just like in a warehouse?
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
And we were just kind of batting around ideas. But then I think it just kind of morphed into, okay, well, what if it was more like you kind of being the character that you wanted to be or the person that you wanted to be in real life? The job, your dream job, what would my dream job be? But we kind of tweaked it a little bit to where it was a little bit more feasible, I guess. And then from there, we just kind of started to develop ideas and stories.
Yep.
And I don't really know I know we had tons of ideas. We had like a list of I don't really feel like they were ideas that would sustain an entire episode, but they were just ideas that were like, wouldn't that be funny if?
Yeah, I remember.
Wouldn't that be funny if that? And we just kind of jotted them all down, and then eventually it kind of got into the writing process where I was trying to piece together okay, how can I make this story work with this idea and that idea? And I would just kind of pick and choose from the list of ideas that we had.
Right.
And then we just kind of ran with it. And then eventually we got, I guess the very first episode that we kind of put together that I wrote was just the introduction of the characters.
It was about me not wanting to cut my grass.
Yeah, not wanting to cut your grass because that was always one of your big,
Yeah.
in real life, that was something you just didn't want to do.
Hated my push more.
But I remember that The Last of Us was also coming out at that time. We were all psyched for it. And it was just like, okay, can we just kind of work that in? That way it kind of had a little bit more of a natural...
Well, if you remember, we started out, we were going to incorporate just video games just something silly in there with video games. Like if I was tired, I'd reach over and smash a crate and there'd be like some kind of health thing in there. You remember we talked about that?
I think we did, yeah. Kind of Scott Pilgrim-ish in a manner of speaking.
Yeah, just like that.
But I don't think we really had the means to do it at the time. Today, I bet you we could probably pull it off.
We probably could, but I like what we got.
No, yeah, it's fine. But from that, we didn't really have a set idea of how we wanted to do this as far as episode lengths, because if you kind of look at season 1, episode lengths vary from 10 minutes to almost 30.
Yeah, there's a couple that's 30. Two 30-minute episodes.
We had, episodes 3 and 6 were the longest ones because they were a little bit more fleshed out. I think episode 3 could probably have been shorter if we'd have trimmed some of that stuff, but it was good.
Wasn't that the
reality show?
Yeah, reality. No, it had to be the 30 minutes. Yeah. It had to be. It was the mid-season finale.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But when we set the schedule in motion, I had never done anything like this before. Obviously, for everybody else, they had not done anything like this before ever. So I was asking a whole bunch of people who had never acted before, never done anything like this before, if they wanted to participate. And upon doing that, we kind of fleshed out this idea, putting this on screen, and it became something that we didn't quite expect. We didn't know what to expect from it.
Not at all.
So trying to get it all together, trying to put it out in the world, we promoted the hell out of it. Yeah. We pushed it.
That's where I got my executive producer label.
That's right. I know we did, 5 teasers for it?
5 trailers.
Well,
we had Jenna's grandmother saying "For shizzle my nizzle."
Oh, shizzle
which
my
was
nizzle.
the best.
That was all. That's probably our favorite one.
And that was one of those things that never actually panned out like we wanted to, because everybody wanted to see her in the show.
Yeah.
And they were like so disappointed because she wasn't in it, and then we thought, we'll try to do that next time, and it didn't.
Yeah. Well, health issues.
Yeah.
Really played a big deal with her.
And it was something we really did play with coming into season 2, trying to make that work, but it never
Pip,
did.
It kind of morphed into Pip a little bit.
Yeah, because she was kind of there. I think Trudy kind of became, in a manner of speaking, I think there were just elements of different characters that kind of shoved into that after a while. So, but season 1, it was we had never. I had never done anything like this before. And we set on a very strict schedule. It was like, we did it from March to June. Well, I think it was a little bit before June because, it wasn't into June because we were still shooting.
No, July, because we did it on July 4th was when we was trying to get done. Because
that was when the final episode around that time was going to be out. But we were still shooting by the time we were shooting the last episode, because I think episode 4 had came out the night we were shooting the last episode.
Yeah.
At the big party.
I don't think anybody understands, like, when an episode is 9 minutes long, but the first episode is like 9 minutes and 36 seconds long, if I remember right. Yeah. It took 2 weekends to do that.
Yeah. And like I said, we stuck to a very strict schedule. It was like every other weekend for 3 months?
Yeah.
And we stuck with, and we did it, and we just made it happen.
And Rain got a lot of really screwed shit up.
And I think Rain, even when it did kind of mess with things, it didn't mess with it as bad as it did this time.
Yeah, or airplanes.
All sorts of, because there's always going to be noise, but it gets frustrating.
At the old house, it was like car systems going down the road and jackasses driving 100 miles an hour on a 30-mile-an-hour street.
Loud beatboxing.
Yeah. I swear one of them had a big bass drum that was just from a high school in there. Mm-hmm. He went up and down the street. Now we moved out to a place where it's nothing but airplanes.
You live right across from the freaking airport.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when they say there's an air show until 3 o'clock, that literally was the only time that we knew when the airplanes were flying because at 3:00 they stopped and they started at 12. So we knew that was the day we're going to film this day. It's from 12 to 3. And then there was no airplanes.
Yep.
And then we had to wait for rain to go by. And then as soon as there's no rain, it got sunny. All the damn airplanes went up in the sky. It was crazy.
I know that when we were trying to establish a lot of the stuff in season 1, it was just trying to get to know the characters, who they were. You know, obviously we were, you know, Cash and Felix were the main 2 guys. Mm-hmm. Penny was kind of there, you know, not.
She was.
But not, I don't really feel like she was almost kind of a punchline at first, you know, where she was just always trying to, you know, tease you with because I think that was one of our big things. Yes. She was always going to taunt sex over your head and stuff like that.
A lot like real life.
And that was kind of the joke we went with her. And then eventually we I guess we kind of got away from it a little bit, but not quite. You know, definitely in season 2 we did, but season 1 that was kind of her gag. Much like Toe in season 1, his gag was sleeping on the couch because we did kind of run that a lot.
He did in real life at that point. He slept on my couch.
So we only had him sleeping the one scene in season 2, which I thought was kind of
no, there was 2.
What was the other one?
The other one was where he in the finale when he woke up before the party.
No, I was talking about in season 2. We only had him
season 2.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But no, in season 1, he was. It was like every time we saw him, it was sleep.
Yeah, he only slept one time in this one.
Yeah.
Well, I think he somewhere along the lines in the layoff, he really got his shit together. Mm-hmm. He figured out that he could write a complete sentence, and he put it on that box. And he came to the new town with us. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Plymouth Rock is what I like to call it.
Okay. Yeah. And for Felix, I guess with most of us, I was trying to inject a little bit of myself, but not quite make it me. So I was trying to think, well, what would I do? What would Felix do? And try to have a little bit of disassociation with him. So there would be a little bit of difference. So it could be a character. And I know that when it came to writing Katrina's role for Kitty, I wanted him. I've never acted
just like
that much of a fool. No, I mean, I felt like I'm fairly confident, you know, especially when I met her, I was pretty confident. But I do know that I can be kind of, you know, nervous and stuff like that. So I just wanted to amplify that when it came to him trying to, you know, hit on her or talk to her or whatever, and just really kind of come.
I'm glad you said that. I want to tell the story of when I first met you.
Okay.
Because like we started working together, and I say something to him, and he doesn't answer me back, and I'm like thinking, this dude is an asshole.
No, what was that?
I don't remember. You didn't have any time for me. And I remember you telling me, like, you thought, like, you heard, like, of course.
Yeah, there were people in the department, and they were always teasing you or joking or whatever.
That's how I am.
And I didn't know who you were.
Right.
So from the outside looking in, I just felt like you were just some guy they were always picking on, and you were just some kind of idiot. So when I would hear these stories, I was like, see, so this guy just must be a simpleton because they're always making fun of him.
Yeah, I remember you told me. He's like, when I heard everybody talking and them messing with you, but what you didn't know was I was allowing them to mess with me.
Yeah,
that's how I roll, you know. They're going to throw shade on me, I throw it back. Mm-hmm. You just didn't see that part.
No, I only heard the one side of it.
Yeah, and I remember you saying, whenever I heard everybody talk with you, I thought you probably talked like, hey man, you want to come over here and do this? Yeah. Because like I don't talk like that at all. But I'm sitting there thinking the whole time, this dude's an asshole. Like,
and I get that a lot.
Yeah, and you do, yeah. But I remember we were sitting at break, and I said something about The Walking Dead, and I swear to God, we walked out of work that day talking the whole time, and we've just been talking ever since.
Yep. That's when y'all became gay lovers.
Well, I loved him before then.
Oh.
We just didn't know it yet.
I remember you got in the car that day and you told Katrina, I made a friend.
You did.
Katrina told me later.
Because at the time there were not a lot of people, especially in that department that I talked to.
No,
so it was a very depressing time.
Yeah.
So to have somebody I could actually relate to and talk to, it was like, oh great, finally I can come into work and actually kind of enjoy somewhat, because you know, obviously it wasn't always fun and games because someone always had to ruin that.
Basically, we had a dickhead boss.
But no, I mean that kind of, I mean, all that from one thing led to another, and then we got what we have here. Episode 6 of season 1, just kind of gloss over it real quick. I felt like we were kind of building to something, because I kind of wanted that one to be important because it was going to be the last one. The others, I'm not saying they were really throwaways, but you kind of got to know the characters. You saw their antics and whatnot. Yeah. But when it came to that one, I felt like this needed to be a growing point for the characters in a way. So that's why there was a little bit of drama between Cash and Penny, to really understand, because you saw their bickering and bantering throughout the whole thing. But I wanted people to understand at that point, they do love each other. They do have a connection with one another. Just because things are bad, they do care. So that's why you kind of see them at the end, back together, everything's fine. And then with Felix and Kitty, I wanted to try and find a way to make that relationship just kind of come together in some way. Like, she may have rejected him the whole time, but maybe she finally understood maybe he's not so bad. He means well. He's just kind of a buffoon in a way, but she just kind of came around to him. And once she actually gave him a chance, she actually realized she kind of did like him.
I think she's seen that other guy was an asshole. The guy she used to be with, right? So then she realizes maybe...
Yeah, this guy, he's not treating me, but this guy, he's sweet, he's kind, he's always trying to talk to me and look out for me. He's not trying to do anything. He just wants to talk, right. And maybe she should just give it a chance. And when she sees what he does for her and takes a hit in the face for her, I think it was just kind of like, okay, maybe I kind of owe him a conversation. So when you see that conversation at the end, that was their moment of actually getting to know each other, and you're thinking at that point, okay, she, a light bulb went off in her head, and she's like, he's all right. So
he is okay.
Yeah.
He was kind of weird, but he's okay. He
pooted
in episode 2.
He did.
That was a good joke.
That was a good joke. How long did it take you to find that fart?
Not long, believe it or not.
There's a fart in season 2.
There is.
Yep.
How long did it take you to find that one?
That one was I wanted that one to be perfect.
The perfect fart. And I believe you found it.
I did.
He did.
Yeah, because watching through them, I'm not going to say which episode it's in. No. Happens quick. It's awesome. But just every time I hear it, I'll laugh.
We'll get to it. I want to get through season 1 first, though. Yeah. Just through what we're talking about anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I like to jump ahead.
I know. It's fine. No, we're bouncing around a little bit. But
I'm a bouncy kind of guy.
I mean, is there anything before I kind of get to the last bits of season 1 that you guys want to reminisce about?
I remember how I didn't know that my next door neighbor was somebody I went to high school with. And it wasn't long before that we were actually putting our fence up, and I seen him out there. And I'm like, oh, it's Joey, you know? That's my buddy, like from high school. So I talked to him a little bit, and then we're outside filming episode 1. The scene where you throw the water in my face, and they're just watching. They're like, "What are y'all doing?" We're filming a show. It's called Man Cave, And he said, "I thought y'all were filming like I don't know why they thought this." Drunk driving videos. Drunk driving videos for church.
Well, around here, I mean, in all honesty, around here where we're from, you don't see people with cameras. I mean, it's not like we're living in Hollywood or anything like that. So.
I mean, I still get weirded out if we have to film like in public, on your street. When I was filming for season 2, just and cars are going by, I'm sitting there thinking, they think I'm weird. Yeah. I don't know why I care.
Oh, we did even weirder than that in episode 6 of season 2. We were out in the middle of a road in the middle of nowhere, and I said, drop me off right here. And I was comfortable with it because at this point I was just like, I'm going to do this. I want this shot. I'm going to get it. So she drops me off, and I said, just drive down the road and come right back, turn around and just drive. I'll get the shot, and then you could just come back and pick me up. And their cars are going by, and I'm like, I know they probably think I'm weird.
It's weird.
Because I'm just sitting out here with a camera on a tripod on the middle side of the road. Luckily, no one stopped and said, are you okay, man?
Yeah.
I was just like, nope, just keep on going, keep on going.
So I've yet to see this episode.
That's right.
Yeah.
We'll
it's kind of like a secret.
A little bit.
You know what I do miss about season 1, though?
What's that?
The guy who lived across the street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a way to get him in it, but like right before we started filming, I found out he doesn't live there anymore.
Aww.
I think just some situations between, their family. He doesn't live there anymore, so that went away.
But he was awesome.
I mean,
he was awesome. That was great.
I'd say that before I even close that out. That's another thing a lot of people will notice from season 1 to season 2 is characters that we had. Not all of them rolled over. We lost Biscuit, which he was fun and fine for what he was, but the guy who was playing him didn't seem as committed I feel like that as he should have been. So bringing him back didn't seem to be a priority.
No, it didn't.
So,
I mean, he was awesome. I really liked the character he did.
He did fantastic for what he did, but when it came to trying to do a whole new season, we wanted people who were going to be committed. Because
we have to do that.
We had a problem with that in episode 4 of season 1. There was a character written in specifically to be a guy, who was going to be this crazy guy that just shows up and has all these things for people, So I think for that moment it was going to be, this is a story for everybody. You've never heard this before, and granted, you guys will remember it as we go along. In episode 4 of season 1, there was a part written in for a guy that I knew who seemed like he was committed, and then of course when time came to shoot, he bailed out. Left us high and dry, so I had to do some last minute rewrites. But the idea was that, we're trying to get this raccoon out from under the house or whatever, pest control, and Felix knew a guy. He's like, oh, dude, I know this guy.
Everybody knows a guy.
I'll just call him up and he'll, help out. And Cash is saying, what are you talking about, this guy? Who's this guy? He's like, no, trust me, this guy, he's great. And the guy's name was going to be Guy.
Yeah.
So he meets him, and this guy is just some shady character who just happens to have all these things. And I think there was even going to be a joke where Biscuit and Toe were looking through his car, like through a box. And at the time, I think the iPhone 4 was the only thing on the market.
Yeah.
And then Biscuit was going to pull out the phone. It's like, dude, got the iPhone 6, man. iPhone 6.
Yeah, that was going to be so good.
And
what could have been, man?
Yeah, what could have been? Because I really felt like the character was going to be good.
I think we was going to be the next Cosby Show.
Well, I don't know about
Come
that.
Come on, man. Seriously.
Well, no.
Biscuit could have been Bill Cosby.
Okay. I can see that. Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna be a little bit older Theo.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay,
About
I'll be
the same,
Elvin.
Brain cell capacity.
Yeah,
there.
well, bite my ass. Bite my entire ass.
But yeah, I mean, that character got written out, and he was actually going to be in episode 6. He got written out, and that's where the neighbor character kind of came in and filled in his shoes.
Dude, he did so good.
So that actually worked out in the end. But there is that what if scenario that I kind of wonder what would those episodes be like had he had been there, and what that would have been. So I'm curious, just for the sake of curiosity.
Just for that sake.
Yeah. But episode 6, that was a tough shoot because wrangling an entire party of people and shooting, that was a stressful day.
That was.
Because we actually got into it.
We did, yeah. And we were hungry, too.
Yeah.
We had not had
hungry,
anything to eat
tired,
all day.
People weren't showing up. It was just frustrating.
One
because
of them was like super freaking late.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then what made it even worse is one of the people who was important for that party scene, as we were getting ready to shoot, said, I got to go, man. I was like, no, what are you talking about, dude? We've not
Who
even
was
shot
it?
your
Who
stuff."
did we have?
That was Jamin Spinogle, the guy that played Kitty's ex-boyfriend. And while we're kind of on the subject of him, anyone who has seen episode 1 of season 2, there was a little reminder or remembrance thing for him and Sarah, the two of them that were in the picture. They had passed away, unfortunately, during the times between season 1 and season 2. Just accidents, There's nothing in the world that could stop it. It's just the way the world works, I guess. But we felt like it was important to put a light on them for a moment because they were big fans of ours. I heard from both of them, how much they loved what we were doing. They were excited. Right. They were excited just to be in that episode because they were fans of what we'd done up to that point. They were excited. So it was nice to have fans be there and show their support in different ways. Yeah. So we wanted to honor them for that moment. But going into season 2, it did take us about 4 years. As everyone can see, over 4 years, as a matter of fact.
Life happened big time.
It did. Yeah. There was, I think after season 1, again, where we kind of ended, it was stressful, that last shoot and trying to get everything. We all needed a break. Right. We wanted to take a break, but it was still kind of on our minds a little bit, trying to figure out what we wanted to do. But we just kind of tapered off a little bit. And then I guess as life just continued to happen, it just kind of got further and further back in our minds.
You had a kid.
Yeah, I had a kid.
We moved.
Yeah.
I had to pull a gun on a guy in the backyard.
Yeah.
And then we had to get the hell up out of Dodge.
Yeah, your neighborhood got bad. Our lives got busy. We had a lot of shifting from, I know I jumped at least 2 jobs, same company, but different jobs. So things shifted a lot.
Speaking of which, every time I go into a department, you leave the department. What does that say?
No,
what does that tell me?
I'm trying to better myself just the same as you.
Yeah.
Like, I think what happens is he's like, I'm bettered myself. I go to this next job. Oh, Todd just came in. Got to better myself again because I got to get the hell away from him.
Hey, they
gotta
didn't
stay
have to
2
hire
steps
me.
ahead. Duh.
They didn't have to hire me at all.
Who invited her?
Well, she's here.
She's being mean. See? You see? I hope y'all heard that. This is
There
my
was a
arm.
big-
My arm's throbbing. Can you hear my arm? There you go. Thank you. God dang it.
That's what Todd gets for being an asshole.
But
I
now,
just get that for being Todd sometimes. Hey, Todd, smack.
now what actually? All right, let's the formation of season 2. I guess what I'm trying to figure out, I'd say we maybe really started hitting this hard around 2015.
Right at the end.
And that's where the idea for
2016.
2016?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know that the idea of Pip showed up at some point during that. Now, whose idea was that? Was that yours? Or
I think it was.
I think it was
I think we talked to John, who plays Pip, and he, because he was really excited about the show too, and he started. He was like, I want to, if I can help, I want to do it. So I was like, let's just write him a part because he seems like he's going to be committed at least. And I remember we had the idea. I think Heath actually come up with the idea to have him act like a dog or to be his buddy.
Yeah.
And then me and you started morphing it into the dog idea because I think we started talking about the part like, what if we went camping and he jumped out of the car and he took off running like a damn dog? You know how a dog does. And that's where he came from. It was just kind of Heath's idea, and then we turned it into that. But the whole him not speaking at all, I
think that just became a byproduct of if he's going to be a dog, does he or doesn't he talk?
Yeah.
So if he's going to kind of act like that, then why don't we just kind of stick with the mute play and just kind of see how that works? And I think it actually worked out better in the long run because John nails the facial expressions.
He does.
The looks.
It's
like
good.
he was born to do that.
Yeah.
That's what he was meant to do for this show.
He did good. Like, he probably won't do anything else in his life, but he did real good at that.
He did.
He's not here to defend himself.
No, he's not. But we're talking good about him. And he, talking about, like you said, committed. The man is committed. The man's always been here. He wants to help. He'll hold the boom pole if we need him to or
He
whatever.
holds my pole.
Yeah.
Sometimes. He did hold my pole one time.
Maybe
It
once.
was real quick.
I remember
think-
when we first talked about having Pip and how he was supposed to dress when Toe first finds him.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be like a pink Speedo and a trench coat, and he's going to be at the
That's
freaking
right.
park.
And the Speedo did finally come in there, though.
The worst part about it was, though, is that I think he was supposed to look a lot more disheveled.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
a
he was
bigger,
supposed to
bushy
actually look
beard
like
and
a
everything.
hobo.
He did.
He did have that,
He
yeah.
grew that out for that part. And then the life happened.
Yeah.
And by the time we meet back up with him, he does not have that beard. But he'd have been the homeliest motherfucker you ever saw.
And that, I mean, at least for that one episode, if we'd have had that another what if, for episode 1, if that would have been cool just to
I
have
know
that,
it.
and then maybe he just got cleaned up for episode 2.
Right. Well, I remember we tried to find like a beard for him
Yeah.
to look like it. We just couldn't do it.
Because it is kind of odd to see this guy who's just hanging out, you know, in the middle. It would have added a little bit to it, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we even talked about like what Pip, like who he actually was.
Yeah, we have discussed that. Like, do we explore that anymore, or do we just kind of run with this idea? I don't really know. I didn't want to set anything in stone this season.
Yeah.
If we wanted to do anything after that, because I felt like the moment you commit to something like that, you got to run.
That's a
with
big deal. Yeah,
So
you have to.
I felt like just for him being who he was now, let's just leave it as is, and then we'll explore it later if need be. If we need to go down another road with him or another avenue to explore or expand who he is. So, but I do recall during the writing process before we got into, I think this is actually when I was in the middle of trying to put together a lot of the episodes, like really hammering out the scripts, trying to get a good idea down. We had a bit of an issue where we weren't sure if Heath was going to come back, and then we had to shift gears on what Pip was going to be. So he actually became like a homeless guy that was just going to kind of replace the Toad character in a way due to the move.
Yeah.
Like he was left behind, and then this guy was just going to show up and just be some lunatic who just won't
He had
go
all
away.
these useless facts.
Yeah, full of useless facts. Like an example of the script that was written kind of to play on the idea of the brownies and the eggs and stuff like that.
That was when Nana was going to be there.
Yeah. We had
I remember that.
You have her
script
eat the brownies.
idea, unread script. This is for everybody, and now you're getting one of those inside scoops
Behind this curtain.
Yeah, behind the curtain. The script idea that I had is I remember you had gone to Cash had gone to the store, and then he saw Pip, the homeless Pip guy. He was getting picked on by a bunch of kids or something like that, and he didn't seem like he cared. He was like, yeah, that's funny. And then Cash kind of runs him off, and then he just kind of takes a shine to Cash at that point. He's like, "Oh, dude, thanks, man. They're just kids. It's fine. But then he just won't go away. He's like, "So what are you doing, man? Where are you going?" And he's like, "I'm going home. Just leave me alone." He's like, "All right, cool." And then he eventually winds up at his house. He's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Oh, dude, I just happened to follow you home. It's fine. I just needed a place to crash. Is that cool?" And just kind of moves in.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "What? Just go away. Get out." And it just became this dichotomy of just like, "Get the hell off my property, man. I don't know what you're doing here. Just leave,
please."
And he didn't get it. It's like and like you said, full of useless trivia, and he just start spouting off stuff like he doesn't understand the boundary thing.
Right.
It's like, no, it's fine. I'll just
I
camp
remember
out back here. And that's kind of one of the ideas of the tent in the backyard, which became the Toad thing. I think that was kind of in that wheelhouse too.
Yeah, he was going to live in the tent in the backyard.
Like he's just going to say, "Dude, I'll just put up this tent," and he actually does. Like when he's not there, and he's like, "What is this?" He's like, "I saw this tent out in your shed, man. I just put it up. Thought I'd just crash in here. Is that cool?" He's like, "No, it's not cool. Go away."
I remember the idea also, like when we first started discovering Pip in the backyard, was he just stays back there, and I come out in the morning, and I'm just kind of stretching in the morning, and I just see like a dude in a Speedo run through the backyard. I'm like, what the hell is this?
And I remember the Speedo was always like one of those things that was a must for that character.
That was because John offered that. John was like, "I'll wear a Speedo, dude." I'm like, "You're in. You're in." I wanted to see his sack so bad in that Speedo.
But eventually we got everything sorted out. So I'd already had the script for episode 1 and I think 2. I think they were already written, and this became like an alternate. So I had 2 separate scripts for season 2,
right,
or for episode 1, just to say this is for this scenario and this is for that scenario, and then we'll see where we go.
And then we rewrote all of them.
Yeah.
Or you rewrote all of them.
Well, what actually happened is I was actually writing it with another friend of mine, Ernie Chase. You know him.
Yep.
Y'all both know him. He wanted to kind of be involved. He kind of threw in a little bit of insight. He wrote a script for season 2 called My Brother Jimmy, and it's about Felix's brother Jimmy that he has a bit of a problem with. And when he wrote that script, it was such a great script, and I kind of refined it and kind of took what he did but made it fit into the Man Cave universe a little bit more.
Yeah.
A lot of the episodes, the entire season, as I was writing it at the time, was starting to become this really long narrative. So when I started looking at it, I was like, all right, now wait a second. We've got something, you'd really have to pay attention. These are not standalone episodes. You go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and there's still a narrative going on throughout each one. Because there were a lot of other ideas that I was still, that were going to make it into season 2. And then when I started realizing how tight this narrative was, I was like, I'm not sure this is what I want to do right now. Because I want to reintroduce, it's been so long, I want to get back out there with our characters, our antics. But I'm not sure if a season-long story was something I was eager to do yet. So I took some of the ideas, like the camping episode. That was one of the episodes that he had helped me write. And I just took elements from that. He's got a writing credit on that one because of it, because we kind of hammered that out. But I took elements from that, kind of worked it in, but then took a lot of those long-form narratives out in favor of simplified episodes.
Right.
Just for now, because they're good ideas and I still want to use them, but just I wanted to jump in a little on the safer side for season 2.
Yeah.
Because it had been a while and I wanted to kind of reintroduce everybody, so to speak.
Yeah, I think, well, a lot of the people that watched in the first season probably fell off a little bit, and with all the stuff you've been doing with like epic streamers and stuff, you're gonna have a lot of new people.
Yeah,
And
there was a lot of other things going on. Even for 4 years, how many times have we heard, "Dude, I love Man Cave," or
Oh my
I
God.
still watch it all the time.
I feel like it became more popular at work within the last year.
Yeah, because it's humbling to hear how many people enjoy it and kept asking, "Hey, when are you gonna do season 2?" Because I get that, I got that a lot all the time where
Right.
people were saying, "When season 2? When season 2?" And I'm like, I don't know.
don't know if it's gonna
I'm trying to
happen.
figure it out myself. I
Yeah.
said, because at one time I really didn't have an answer,
Yeah.
and then eventually I was able to finally go out into the world and say, "It's coming, guys. It really is. I promise you. So you just got to give me some time, but it'll be there." And that kind of drummed up a little bit of interest. Now, as we're recording this, this was the night that episode 1 of season 2 came out. The interest, I don't feel like, has been as exciting as it was for season 1.
We didn't promote it like we did the first one.
Yeah, there was a lot of lack of promotion, but I've been so busy. Everybody's busy.
Yeah.
It's been very, very hard trying to get the word back out. I was kind of hoping that just the excitement, but again, it has been 4 years.
Yeah.
I think that's what kind of, maybe pushed everybody back a little ways, because just for an understanding, on season 1, episode 1, we had, what was it, like 100 views within the first hour? Or was it, and it just kind of
No.
upticked.
It was within the first hour and 15 minutes. It was like 315.
Yeah, we saw it just kind of jump, and it was just, I'd never had anything like that happen.
No, it scared me. It was just, so I was like,
It was just-
oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Because we were talking to each other on the phone the whole time.
Because it was surreal. I'd never had a video that actually did well on YouTube like that. And everything that I've had, any videos I have on YouTube right now that are in the thousands, they're not original content.
Right.
And that's just the way the internet is. That's
Yeah.
viewers.
Unless you're falling off a ladder and getting like a plunger in your butt, like they're not gonna watch it.
Yeah, you're not doing anything original. If you're doing something original, no one's paying attention.
No.
So we're trying to do something original. Trying to get that interest was hard. But even if you look at the views now, it's insane to really think about. We've got over 800 views on episode 1 alone.
Right.
And then some of the others, they kind of taper off, which is kind of odd, because if you kind of liked episode 1, I don't understand why.
I thought they got better as they went.
So did I, yeah. I think, I want to say, I guess out of the short form, out of season 1, episode 4 was probably one of my favorites.
That was the Home Improvement.
Yes.
That one, to me, part number 5 was the breach. I loved that one for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
They all have something about them that I think makes you connect to them. I think the reason I like that one is because for me, episode 4 was the creative way I kind of did at the end, where it was trying to create that chaos of the fire under the house and everything like that. And the build up to that, I kind of felt like that was something I'd not done before, and it was just, I like how it came out.
Yeah.
Because I remember editing that scene where the raccoon jumps out, and I laugh so hard just watching you scream and jump back just as I was editing it. And I was there when we shot it, but for some reason, rewatching it as it was edited together, I laughed so hard, and I had to stop what I was doing just to kind of get my bearings together. So, but I thought there were a lot of good shots, a lot of interesting things that were set up. So it was probably my favorite for season 1. Did you have a favorite, Katrina?
She wasn't there. You hit me again?
I really don't know.
I like the finale too, though.
No, yeah, the finale was ambitious.
It was, and you can see that, you can tell at the end it got rushed because of lighting, and like you said, people had to leave, and we had to get those shots.
Yeah.
And people which is why we kind of shrunk the cast a lot this time and got the main people in all of them and not bringing a whole lot of new people. But like, just having the cast there that wants to be there, it makes you have to just change everything when they just all of a sudden don't show up.
Yeah.
And you can see that. But to me, that's one of my favorites too.
Well, let's kind of break down into all the episodes because I think we've hit a lot of the bases for season 1. Once we got into season 2, we finally get it under production. We probably started around February.
Yeah, right around my birthday.
Yeah, we finally got a lot of the episodes. I think we wanted to try and start different, because we didn't really shoot in cold weather last time.
No.
So when you kind of look at episode 1, you'll kind of notice trees are still dead and it's
I got my
still
long
kinda
sleeves
cold.
on.
I had a beard at the time. So
I had
was,
hair to my shoulder. Well, I had hair to my shoulders most of the time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like episode 2, my hair's short. And then it's long again, and then short again.
but the weather changed and everything like that, so our looks changed. So it kind of worked with us. Once we finally got all that going, we started filming everything. Everything I felt like for the first episode kind of went without a hitch. We probably, I'd say our average for filming this time was probably 3 days per episode.
Probably.
Because it seemed to be about that too. Because I'd say for a lot of the footage that I had to break down, it was like day 1, day 2, day 3,
Right.
and maybe pickup shots. For anything that we needed to correct or change or just reshoot, for that matter. But episode 1, I kind of felt like went off without a hitch. The first day, we kind of hit the ground running, tried to do as much as we could.
Yeah.
That first day, and then
We didn't have a schedule this time. We just did it without a schedule.
Yeah, and I felt like that was a blessing and a curse.
Yes.
Because on the one side, where it was a blessing, is that we didn't feel rushed, we didn't feel stressed like we were trying to meet a deadline. But on the curse side, we did not. It took, again, February, and it's just now November. It took us almost an entire year to get
We
it
still
done.
got one more thing to shoot.
Yeah, and we're still not done. So, as of recording this, when you hear it, everything will be done. Hopefully, you will have seen all the episodes by the time you hear this. That's the plan.
Oh, so we're bringing it out the end.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So when you're hearing this, you should have seen them all.
So we can talk about all the secret shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, duh.
Yeah. That's
I
the
thought
whole
this
point.
was coming out here recently.
No.
My dong probably hangs out in this episode, in some
we
episode.
can talk about everything in the show.
Okay, like
release
episode 3, my dong hangs out.
No, we're not going to.
Episode 5, my dong hangs out.
Focus. Episode 1. That's what we're going to talk about
I
right
just
now.
want to talk about my dong.
Episode 1.
It's a
But
small
everybody
dong.
kind of brought their A game, I felt like, when we all started, because everyone was in it who was going to be our principal cast.
Right.
But some things got shifted as time went on, but we kind of felt like everybody that we had were going to be our primary characters. That was the whole point.
Right.
But things change.
For the
they
most
always
part,
do.
there wasn't a whole lot of shifting this time.
No.
And that's good.
So, for what we did with that episode, like I said, everything kind of went as we wanted it to. There were a few hiccups here and there, but it was just, I think, more in the technical aspect. One scene that I wish we could have gotten, but it was just, the world was just not going to, nature was not going to work with us on that, was where Heath runs into the barn to get the eggs. There were supposed to be feathers flying out because everyone asked, oh, why didn't you have feathers flying out? We tried.
Yeah.
There was a wind tunnel through that
it
barn,
was terrible.
And it shot all those feathers right back as soon as we threw them out.
Yeah. So it sucked all the feathers back in the barn.
Yeah. So there was just absolutely no way to do it. Wanted to. It was a great idea. We were prepared for it. It's just it wasn't going to happen.
It wouldn't have looked right for the feathers to be coming from the outside in.
Yeah.
And then he's running out.
It's like, what?
Toes magic.
So that didn't work. We had a few other technical issues. I'm gonna let everybody in on our little secret. The one scene right at the beginning. You'll see a scene at the very beginning where Cash is putting up his stuff in his man cave, and then Penny comes in. She's like, "Oh, it looks so great in here." He's like, "Thanks, babe," and she starts walking toward him, and she walks past the TV. Now, off in the background, you'll see a door frame. Everything in the door frame was edited out and repackaged because when we shot that scene, the continuity was terrible. There were different things. There was not a bag.
Well, we shot it like 2 months later. We redid it.
Yes, because there were a few shots in that scene, or I guess in that first opening shot, especially with Jenna's character, the angles were just wrong. I didn't like them, so I wanted to get different takes on them,
Right.
to make it work a little bit better. But for that, when she was walking past that television, there was a jacket or something. Everything
It was a pink jacket.
different. Yeah,
The pink jacket was hanging there. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
there
a
was-
bright pink jacket.
it was so obvious. Like you saw what was there 1 minute, and then you saw this bright pink jacket, and you're like, "Oh my god, that just stands out like a sore thumb." And I was being so critical of continuity this time, trying to be sure that everything was perfect. So I made that perfect.
What did I tell you to do?
You told me to leave it alone. It'll be fine. Todd has to be my conscience sometimes. You say, dude, it's fine. Let it go. Let it go. And if I know that I can fix it, I'm going to fix it. And I fixed that by removing that door frame, everything out behind it, and putting in exactly what needed to be there. So there's your little trivia. See if you can spot what I did.
And then see if you can figure out an episode.
Well, let's stick to episode 1. We'll get there.
Oh, okay. Trivia. How many times am I going to screw the... How many times am I going to bounce around?
But any other things you want to mention about episode 1?
Let me think.
Oh, my brownies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so let's talk about the brownies.
No, I'm going to say this right off hand. Fuck your brownies. Those brownies were disgusting, dude.
Now,
I think I found a toenail in mine.
before she tells you what's in the brownies, when I say
You don't... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
When I say that our facial expressions are genuine, I mean it. We were not... That was not real. That was not acting. That was genuine. I do not want this in my mouth. This is terrible. It was disgusting. When you kind of see me go like that, I was.
It reminded me of working on Dickerson Road, pulling tricks for $5. I just don't want none of that in my mouth, and it was the same as this.
Yeah. It was, they were terrible. Well, tell everybody what you can remember what was in those brownies.
I remember that I put flour, obviously, in it. And I think it was wheat flour because that's all we had at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically went through all of our spices and put red pepper flakes.
Oh, God damn it.
Like chili powder.
It was in there.
Thyme. What was it? Like parsley, oregano. I put everything in
spaghetti sauce. Everything was in it. It was terrible.
I don't even think I added eggs or anything. I just mixed it up with water.
It was so
and
dry.
Put it in a pan and baked it.
And then we just sprinkled the M&Ms on top of it.
Yeah, sprinkled M&Ms.
And then we ran out of M&Ms. It was so hard to find M&Ms.
Oh my God.
Like the world had an M&M shortage.
But it was. It was disgusting.
It was horrible, dude. And then, honest to God, Heath ate them and was like, they're not bad. I'm
He's
like,
sitting there. You saw him sitting there chewing on those in that one scene. He was just smiling like it was the greatest thing ever. And I'm like,
he ate them.
How can you eat that? It was
Yeah.
it was insane how committed he was to eating those.
He ate a whole brownie.
Yeah. And then remember he had the stinky poop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it gave him gas.
It did. Yeah, the stinky food.
Oh my God.
We had to get him out because it was like, dude, you got to go outside.
Oh my God, dude. Tyson, take him outside. I had to get my boxer to take him outside.
Oh, and then our 17-year-old was the drug dealer. Well,
No, she was the
quote-unquote
special.
drug
What
dealer.
was it?
The special ingredient.
Yeah.
He
my
went and
bad.
bought M&Ms.
Because
Special
if you didn't know what the joke
ingredient
was, you're assuming that Toe is going after drugs, but he got the M&Ms.
Yeah.
That was the whole joke. So if you don't get it now, I had to explain the joke to you.
You don't know, now you know.
Even though if you pay attention, for continuity reasons, the M&Ms that are on the brownies are regular M&Ms, and the ones in the bag are like Valentine's
They're Valentine
Day.
M&Ms. That's what I'm saying. We ran out of M&Ms, man.
And
Like
we just couldn't find them. But at the time, Valentine M&Ms, they were on the market.
we used a Valentine. No, I had them in a box in there. This is after Valentine's Day. Like you probably did not want to eat those M&Ms.
No.
But they worked for the prop.
Right. But we used all the M&Ms for the actual brownies, and we're like, we can get some M&Ms. Like, God, let's go down. I think I went to the store, so we don't have any M&Ms. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they didn't have any M&Ms. They didn't.
Which is insane.
Yeah, and so I'm like, I got pink, white, and black ones. Let's just use these in the bag. No, it'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had to do that scene so many times because Starla couldn't stop laughing and smiling.
Yeah, but she finally pulled it together. I had to beat her up, rough her up a little bit.
So we got through that one. I mean, it was fine. I don't really feel like we had too many hiccups on that.
No, I got to say this
interesting
about
little
John,
bits.
though. Eating the crackers.
Yeah, he didn't.
He does not like... What kind were they? They were
just
grilled cheese.
Yeah, like the cheese and cheese crackers.
The grilled cheese crackers. That's what they were called, grilled cheese. And he gagged every time he ate them. And he even said, I hate these crackers. I can't eat these, man. They make me sick.
Which is so funny because I don't mind them. But I guess different strokes from different folks, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you can see that one when he takes that initial first one, he almost spits it back out.
But you see, but he covered his mouth.
Yeah. That's how committed he was. He ate 3 or 4 of those.
And he did.
I think he ate a whole pack. We had 2 packs, and they were both grilled cheese.
Yeah. Oh, and then the spitting the Little Debbie cake.
Oh, that's great. But there is one thing, like, we had 6 regular packs of crackers. I just didn't get them after I found out I didn't like grilled cheese. I got both grilled cheese packs.
Oh, my goodness.
But they did good. Gross. The whole thing kind of came together. I know we had to reshoot the tent, the magic tent of Mary Poppins tent.
Oh my God, yeah.
What did the dude say? It was magic tent of holding. That's what it was.
But yeah, because we had the scene that we did, or at least the very initial time that we kind of shot some stuff, I just didn't feel like it was enough. I didn't feel like we got enough shots and everything, so we had to kind of come back and do some extra stuff and extra, shots that would kind of add to it. And I know it kind of gave that sense that there's just so much garbage in
but that's
here,
funny.
But it made it so much better.
And then somebody threw a dart at me. I'm just glad I didn't have to do the bucket thing again, because I literally put that nasty water in my mouth, and held it in there. And there was, I think it was lemonade with no sugar.
It was like
it was like your grandmama's lemonade with no sugar in the son of a bitch, Oh, it was so horrible. And it was like it had sand in it because nobody cleaned the bucket out. I think there were spider webs in it.
Gross.
Yeah, I had that in my mouth. I just remember holding it in there thinking, just like Dickerson Road again. Just like it.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't swallow, though.
Now, we'll move on to episode 2. That was our camping sleepover episode.
We dedicated this one to Timba.
Yeah, we did. Timba was, you guys talk about Timba. Y'all knew him better than I do.
Yeah, I've been getting tattoos from this guy for 18 years, and, you normally think of a tattoo guy as you go get a tattoo, and that's it. But, with him, man, he sucked you in, man. You've never met a guy like Timba. He's just genuine, always happy, always just he would tell you the truth every time. He wasn't full of shit. And there's just not many people like that. I try to be like that. I try to not be the least full of shit as I can be, just because I just admire him for that, And he had a heart attack, passed away suddenly, and just crushed me, dude. It was awful.
And I think we were worried at one point, because we'd already done 2 dedications. It was like, man, let's hope this doesn't become a gag throughout. Well, not really a gag, but, just something that we were doing every episode.
Right.
Yeah.
But, no, it was rough. I mean, I felt like that it was necessary.
Yeah.
Because these were people that were important to us, so I didn't want to not say anything. And,
right.
Again, he was important to you too. You knew him better. And I was happy to do it because, he was a good guy. I met him a couple of times, and he was really awesome.
Yeah, we all got to go to the Ghost concert together.
Yeah, dude, he loved ghosts.
Yeah.
He did.
He loved cats. That's what blew my mind about him, is how much he loved cats. You see him, tattoos all over him, long hair, rocking Ghost, and he's a cat person, man. I mean,
and a bird person. He loved to tattoo birds.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he absolutely loved it.
But when I found out he was a cat person, it blew my mind. Because he doesn't look like a cat person.
No.
Right.
But he loved his cats. Grim. He loved his cat Grim. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
he's
blew
a
my
sweet
mind.
person.
Well, when we did episode 2, I know this one kind of took us a little while longer to come together. I think this is one of those episodes that kind of seemed to stretch out, when we were trying to get it done, because I know that we did a lot of the house stuff here,
right?
Probably one weekend, and then it took us forever to actually get out into the wooded area.
It rained for at least a month of Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, it was ridiculous because we never could find a clear weekend
to
do it where it was nice and sunny. And even that day that we did go out, there was still
it rained.
A chance of rain. Yeah,
it rained when we were
there. What, for about 5 minutes?
5 minutes, and we were like, Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? We got all the way out here because we didn't have a spot. We were going to go back out here.
Mm-hmm.
And then it rained so much, it was just muddy. And then I was like, this is not going to work. And then John said, I know a place. And then we go out there in this tick-infested, spider-filled place.
You talk about tick-infested. It was just, they were actually jumping on me. I swear,
dude, you would not be around anything, and all of a sudden it'd be on top of your head. How did the tick get up on top of your head?
Or on your face. I felt them jump on my face.
On your face. Like, oh my God, there's a tick on my face. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to go back out there again.
No, never. I was like, suck my tick.
But I mean, I was glad that we actually got to do something like that, though, because I felt like it was necessary to branch out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because this episode for me, I felt like for that moment to actually do something different where we were outside the cave, it was showing a little bit of growth, kind of where we were trying to do that in like episode 2 of season 1, where we went to the barbershop. It was
right.
It was a different setting. It was something that we had not done. And that's what I felt like this was, something unique that would kind of stand out a little bit.
That was weird, too, doing that at the barbershop.
Yeah.
But at least he was like
it did
super
kind of add
awesome about it.
Huh?
I said at least he was super
Oh, yeah,
awesome
Jeff's
about
awesome. Like, give him a shout out. Yesterday's barbershop. Go get your hair cut by him. He doesn't wear the sunglasses anymore, though. But I figured out that eye problem.
I do feel like that kind of added to that episode because that kind of showed that, you know, these guys, they have a community, they know people, and, you know, it's comfortable for them to go there and just kind of have a conversation. That's kind of what I wanted to invoke with that. And I'm, you know, a little disappointed we didn't really have that. But again, moving situation, whatnot, we haven't really established how far away, you know, Cash really moved. But we did kind of, I guess, imply that it is a good distance from where he was.
Maybe next season he goes back home for a little bit.
Who knows?
Roll up in there and see him. Hey, buddy.
We'll see.
Get my hair trimmed. Leave my pubes.
It's like I just happened to be in town.
Just happened to be in town for the weekend, and I could run into my high school sweetheart, Betty Jane.
Betty Jane. Betty Jane. Well, I got nothing. I'm tired.
Yeah, I am too. And, you know, like, I never had a high school sweetheart.
Well, that's fine. I didn't either. That's fine.
Glad I didn't have a high school sweetheart. Because I still live in the same town where my high school sweetheart would be. She'd probably be here. Talking about like, hey. I'm like, I don't even like you no more. Yeah. This ain't high school.
But it's fine.
It's not fine.
It is fine. You know what? Not
everybody
has to
different.
have a high school sweetheart.
Man, if the coach would have put me in, I'd won state.
Jesus.
Anyway,
be sitting in the
back
hot
to
tub.
Anyway.
But also, another thing I liked about this episode, too, is it allowed the women to have a moment to shine.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel like that not to say that we didn't really give them an opportunity in season 1, but I really felt like this was them away from everybody else. They were on their own, we were on our own, and it created a nice dichotomy because we shifted gears on how everyone was acting. Now,
Dude, when you tell me the idea for it, I loved it immediately.
Because I felt like the women being the dudes, you know, they're in the cave, so to speak. Granted, they weren't in there, but you know what I mean. They're at home. They're being, you know, completely out of character from what you would imagine they should be doing or would be doing. And then the guys are out there, and they kind of have those, you know, sissy, hey, I'm not going to go out there and get dirty, or hey, you know, I don't want to do this or I don't want to do that.
Pants look good on my butt.
Yeah.
They did, by the way.
Thank you. But I thought that would just kind of be fun. And it was, like I said, we kind of had an idea for that originally, the one that I wrote with Ernie. And it wasn't quite this, but that's what it just kind of came into. Because the more I thought about it, when it came to splitting up the groups, you know, guys and girls, I wanted the girls to have something unique. I wanted their parts, I guess, to be a little bit funnier than our parts. And I guess the joke with Cash being gay, I'm not really sure where that even came from. I think it was just one of those things that
You wanted to do that to me.
Well, no, I think it was because it was one of those, somewhere in the dialogue, it came about where that line came up, where you're just like, are you going gay, or, you know, this is gay, or something like that. And it made me think back to season 1, where that always seemed to be one of those comments out of Cash's mouth. And I thought, oh, let's explore that. Let's just kind of poke at that, because you know, Cash doesn't really say that much at all. I think just except for maybe that one episode throughout this entire season 2. So I thought it would be a nice little way to call back to that. And that was another thing I wanted to do with season 2, is callbacks on anything that we possibly could. You know, without making it forced or anything like that. Just it almost rewards you for being a fan of season 1. Like, you watched it, and then you come back and you're like, I know what they're talking about. All right. So that was a way of kind of keeping that continuity without, you know, kind of keeping this long, cohesive narrative throughout an entire season.
Right.
But Yeah, I wanted to play with that, and I still felt like the joke as it played out is still. I don't know. I don't know what else we could have done to make it better. To really make it stand out. But it's there. But I don't know. I still don't feel like the landing sticks as well as it should.
I mean, you could always, hindsight's 2020. You could always think of I could have done this better. It's kind of like when we were watching episode 5, the murder mystery tonight. You was like, man, I wish I'd have done this.
Yeah, and that's
it's always
I
like
do that
that
all the time. I think it's at least good on my part because I can always notice my mistakes, and that way it just encourages me to be better next time and say, what could I do to make this better next time? And then that's what I'll aim for. Yeah. But I mean, it was a fun episode to film.
It was one of my favorites to film, just because ticks aside, and I think I killed 7 spiders with my hand. One of them bit me. Yeah, my hand swelled up right here. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
But other than that, it was fun. That one was. I think seeing John do Pip stuff like out, and then we would just let him keep running, and we wouldn't say anything. We let him keep running.
That was just fun, just allowing him to do whatever. Because it was like we would say action. It's like just I don't care what you do, just do it. Yeah,
and he come up with all that. That's how committed he was to that part. I still like him running and jumping in the thing.
Now that's a fun little story right there. That was actually something that was written on the fly that morning on my way to come over and shoot, because I don't know, something just kind of clicked in my head. It was like, wouldn't it be funny if they go to leave and then he's just being left behind, he has to go and jump in. So I was trying to figure it all out in my head, and I was like, this could be funny, really, really good and funny. I just don't want to get anyone hurt because it would require sort of a stunt,
and it's going to be on video.
So I got to figure this out. I got to make sure that, because we had a discussion about it. It's like, do you think you could do this? I said, I want you to get hurt. If you don't feel safe, don't do it. But he, again, all in, all committed, and we just kind of ran with it and did it.
He's a baby. He's a young baby.
Mm-hmm. But he's got balls of steel, man.
Yeah, you see him in them. I love that part.
But
Trudy, or Monica, the one who played Trudy, actually tripped and fell when we were shooting it. When
she did.
Cash says
I picked
that
up
your house is on fire, and she gets up to run, and she busted ass.
I picked up Honey Smacks for at least a month after that. Like, Honey Smacks went every damn where. Like, I'd just be walking and I'd be like, quick, quick. Honey Smacks be stuck to the bottom of my damn socks. The dogs be running around eating Honey Smacks. I'm like, there's probably still Honey Smacks under the couch.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Well, no, we got a new couch. We
actually
actually cleaned underneath the couch after that. So, but I guarantee you she cleaned Honey Smacks off underneath it.
No doubt.
And I was pissed because I was going to eat them damn Honey Smacks.
And she just threw them all over.
These all over the damn floor. Dogs ate most of them.
Oh, my goodness.
It's funny, though. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's when the fart came in. Like, in that episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a last minute addition because again, it was one of those things as I'm sitting there editing it, I just thought, wouldn't it be funny if there was like this little, as she's sitting there doing that and just kind of let one rip. And at first it was like, should it be a loud one? And I tried different things, and it was like, it's kind of funny, but it just didn't work. And then there was just this idea of, I just wanted a squeak, like that. And I thought, that would be hilarious. So I had to try and find the sound to kind of work that in. And I don't know, alone it just didn't seem to work, but with just like a that worked. So I made that effect. Yeah, like it was just, it squirted out and it squeaked.
It was like a wet squeaky fart.
So I had to figure out how to make this effect work, and eventually I found the two right sounds to make it work together, and it just became a nice little addition. It didn't have to be there. It just enhanced the scene, and that's one of the things I wanted to do a lot. Anytime that I came up with an idea, it was to enhance the scene as it was already.
I just remember when you showed me.
Work that.
You said, "Hey, I just want to show you this. Tell me what you think." And you just hit play, and it was that one part. And she said, you
and John,
we both
cried.
I was crying.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I probably replayed it about 5
Yeah,
just laughing.
Oh, it's so funny.